Good morning, quarantiners. Thanks for your patience this morning. This Facebook producer, man, I'm telling you, I did a live with it yesterday and it worked out all right, but this morning, nope. Connecting for 10 minutes, over 10 minutes, and still didn't work. So if you were here on the dot, I apologize for not being punctual. I did my part. Facebook, do yours. Alrighty. So I thought today it might be kind of neat to switch up the format. I know we normally start with a meditation and medicine card reading, but I've noticed a change in engagement. So I figured maybe we would have the meditation go at the end instead of the beginning so we can just dive right into the content. Let me know your thoughts, comments, feelings about all of that. If it works for you, we'll keep doing it. If it doesn't work for you, then we will do what does. So, that being said, do you know what you're watching? Do you know who I am? What's happening? Okay, well, I am Cassandra Renee, and of course, you're already aware that you are on TQN, the Quarantine Network, and you are watching my little segment called Wild Blossom Beacon Coaching. Well, at least that's the name of my coaching practice. You're actually watching the segment called Rise and Shine with Cassandra Renee. I want to know who's here. So whoever is watching, please go ahead and send me a little hello so that I can say hello back. I know the new, right now I've still got it on the classic version. I can see someone's watching. See, I like the classic version of lives. I can actually know what's happening. So I can see that you're watching. Amazing. Let me know who you are and where you are tuning in from. And I am over here in Las Vegas. And yeah, so let's get this started. Today is Manifest Monday, or me on Mondays. I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about you, the collective me. And what this is basically about is to get you to get primed for your week ahead with putting yourself first. Because if you don't put yourself first, there's not a really good chance that someone else is going to. And even if they do, it's not really fair to rely on somebody else to put you first. Now, the whole aspect of this is going back to what I've said in previous videos, where talking about having to fill up your own cup before you can pour into another's cup. And instead of pouring from your own resources, why not just overfill your cup to overflow and then pour from that? So that way you're not depleting your own time, money, energy for the sake of others. Because we show up for others constantly in different ways, where we're showing up to be strong for somebody else, where we're showing up to provide for somebody else, to have answers for somebody else. And that all chips away at your battery, your willpower. And to get through the day, which is why we've been doing some midday mindsets, to get through the day, you kind of need that little extra like revamp. You know, that's where you get that like the midday slump or hump, they call it, and you need your caffeine or something. So it's all about filling up your cup. So today I'd like, for those of you who are watching, I'd like to see what your long-awaited goals are, and whether it has been prior to the quarantine or it's all switched and you've pivoted and you've got new goals for the quarantine coming up now. I'd like to say, hey, Steven, good morning. I'd like to see if you guys want to type in the comments so that once we get through some of the material today, I can help you achieve your goals. So we're declaring on Manifest Monday, aka me on Mondays, we're declaring what our goals are. Now it can be a goal for the week, which is awesome. It can be a goal for the day. It can be a goal for the year, or it can be a goal long term. But the best way to achieve your goals is to declare them, write them down, and then start taking action a little bit every day. And the more you break them down, the better and faster you can actually achieve it, because you can make yourself do at least one thing. And this is where it gets creative, especially when our lives are a little bit hindered. We get really creative and innovative, which might actually catapult our dreams and desires tenfold when things are not going in the normal spin. It's morning, she hasn't eaten yet, so this is Tiger Lily for those of you who haven't seen her. So Tiger Lily gets a little hangry if she doesn't get fed yet, so. Ew. 1 second. My cat either had a drooly face or something, so pause real quick while I wash my hands. That was a first. In the 13 years of her life, she has never peed on me. She didn't pee on me. She was wet, and since I haven't fed her, I know that wet wasn't from water, and I'm pretty sure it came from her undersides. So, TMI, I'm sure, but I'm very transparent. So, before we get into this, Stephen actually said something, so I want to address what he had to say. His goal is to break down debt and be more healthy. Okay, so those are like general well-being goals. Cool. In order for a goal to be attainable, they need to be a little bit more specific. Break down debt. Okay, by how much? And the best thing is to overachieve. So you want to set a goal bigger than what might actually be realistic, because then you're going to start taking actions in a bigger way versus a smaller goal. So let's say you say break down my debt by 10 grand. Okay, that is doable, but as humans, we're fallible and we often fall short of our goals. And yes, this is about encouraging you to reach your goals, but hear me out. We often fall short of reaching our goals. So if you set financial goal as to break down debt, how about just eradicate all of your debt? And you might be going, yeah, I'm 100 grand in debt and I make 50 grand a year. Do the math. Not going to happen. No. Set the goal at eradicate all debt, because then you're going to start taking bigger action. If that really is your goal, you have to believe it. Grant Cardone, I've been studying a lot with him lately, and he says that you have to make it your truth. You have to make it part of your non-negotiables, and it has to be part of your actual values, that it's almost something that makes you cringe, and it's like I'm going against my own personal values if I don't follow through on this particular action. And that's the only way to really make sure that you're making those changes and that you're going to show up in a bigger way. So if you put your goal as eradicate all of my debt, you are probably not going to do all that in a year, but you'll probably eradicate more than the chunk that you would have set, say, at 10 grand. Maybe you'll do 11 grand or 15. So you'll show up in a bigger way. Does that make sense? It's the whole concept of shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll still land among the stars. I hate cliches, but the more I've gone into personal development, I've found the root of them, and finding the root of them actually makes you appreciate the cliches, the little quotes, because they fill in the blanks a little bit more, so that you get the basal understanding of where they come from versus, oh, it's just a nice little saying. And same thing with your other goal of be more healthy. It's pretty vague. Be more healthy. What, maybe break down the goals, the areas in your health, right? So if you're a smoker, to quit smoking, which would improve your lung health, your cardiovascular health. If you are talking about like eat healthier, okay, well, let's be more specific. Maybe add 5 more greens to my meals a week or something like that. So you want to create a more specific, bigger goal, like be more healthy so that I can run a 5K or, something like that, or even pick a health role model, a model, an athlete, something like that, and say, okay, this is the physique that I'm going for. This is the quality of health that I'm going for. This is the quality of mental health I'm going for. Look at that break that down. And then once you have that in mind, then you can start taking actionable steps to achieve that. So great. I love these goals. See if you can come back to me with more specific goals. So every episode is building on the episode before that. And if you guys have been tuning in, amazing. Thank you. For those of you just tuning in, we're going to do the meditation and the medicine cards towards the end of class of the segment rather than the beginning, so that we can like really just prime you up and ready, because I know I meditated before I got here and hopefully you did the same. If not, I'll hold space for you when the time comes. So last week we were talking about being aware of the thoughts you're thinking so that you can then be aware of the words you're saying, so that you can then start taking action in alignment with your actual values and not contradictory. So in line with that, there are some words, and I touched on them briefly before, that we say, but they don't necessarily mean what we would like them to mean, or they mean exactly what we mean, but not in reflection of what we desire. So one of the examples I gave was that I always stub my toe on that piece of furniture. And you've made that your given truth, because every time you walk by that piece of furniture, you always do it. Or you never win anything. And with that thinking, you then pretty much never even bother to enter a contest or enter something or play a game, because you've already programmed yourself that it doesn't happen, therefore why bother, and therefore completely take yourself out of the game to therefore reaffirm and solidify that, yep, nope, that is your truth. You never win anything, to the point that you don't even bother to enter anything in order to be eligible to win. Of course, you're never going to win if you never enter. That's a given. So it's looking at words like that we're using in situations that, if we think about it, wouldn't it be nice to win something here and there? Wouldn't it be nice to actually never stub your toe on that piece of furniture versus always stubbing your toe on that piece of furniture? So it's about being aware of the things that are coming out of your mouth, because whatever is in your awareness, you will notice more, you will bring to you. I've spoken before about how if you are about to buy a certain car, all of a sudden that car is everywhere. If you are about to join a gym, all of a sudden, you're looking at all these different gyms are popping up out of nowhere. It's part of the law of attraction. It's part of manifesting. What you surround yourself with matters. What you bring into your peripherals matters. I also mentioned before a movie called Focus. If you had a chance during the weekend, I hope you watched it. I don't even know if it's on Netflix or whatnot, but with Will Smith and Margot Robbie, it's amazing. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, because I wasn't going to do the spoiler alert. I wasn't going to spoil it before, but now I'm going to tell you. They achieved their goal by subliminal messaging their suspect, or their the person that they're focusing on. And it really is true, and science has proven this. From everywhere with the colors around you to, that's why vision boards are so important. I hope you made a vision board over the weekend, where you're just surrounding yourself visually with things, whether you actually like proactively read them during the day or not, which is a highly effective way to get you programmed into the things that you want to say. Daily affirmations, to kind of reconfigure, rewire your brain. So it's called neuroplasticity. And that is the ability for your brain to basically create new pathways, new connections for new results. So like when you got a new job and you learned the new driving route to get there, you probably used your GPS, you programmed your GPS to get there the first, week or so. And after the repetition, you're basically, your brain is your GPS. You programmed it and you're building those neural pathways through this process of neuroplasticity to then be like, okay, I'm rewiring it for this new programming. I'm programming it to say, I always win things and I never stub my toe on that piece of furniture. So you're essentially rerouting your truth. And when you do reroute your truth, when you reroute what is true for you, it becomes as such. So think about when you were a little kid. You did anything and everything until somebody told you you couldn't. And it only became impossible when somebody said you couldn't do it. Otherwise, you were going to keep going. You were going to go and keep doing that thing all night and get no sleep, and then all day the next day, and then all day the next day until you did it. Until finally somebody stepped in and was like, kid, be real. It's never going to happen. Those first times that we were told no, big impact on the way we proceed with the rest of our lives. So, a couple exercises we're going to get into today. If you have a journal handy, please grab it. If not, go get one. And we want to look at some words that we need to be conscious of how we're using them, and maybe some words we need to fire. So again, always and never, right? How about you start saying always for the things you desire? Even if they don't always happen for you now, start programming yourself to think it and then start saying it. Now, you might be in certain situations where it would just be really socially awkward or weird if you said it. Like you stub your toe, and in the middle of that, you're like, I never stubbed my toe. People are like, but you just did. Don't worry about them. If they are doing the work too, they'll understand. And if they're not doing the work, maybe you'll set the example that they probably should. Because eventually, overnight successes never happened overnight. It took years of building the neuroplasticity, of building the skills, of building all this stuff. And no one talks about the behind the scenes stuff. They only talk about what they see up there. So it's okay. Go ahead and start writing down the ways that you say always when you'd really like it to be never, or even sometimes. Same with never. All the ways you use never when you'd actually really be nice if it was always or sometimes. Want and need. How many things do we say that we need that we don't? And especially being in this quarantine situation, it's a pretty big eye-opener for many, many, many people of, do you really need those eyelash extensions? Do you really need your nails? My nails are gone now. Do you really need that bag of chips? Do you really need all those snacks, all that stuff? No, actually what you need are nutritional food. So you don't need all that sugary junk. You need nutritional food. Like if you have a finite amount of money, which at this point many of us do, you've got to budget your resources carefully. So this is a great way to reevaluate your life and say, well, okay, what do I actually need? Because now you're going to the grocery store with a different frame of mind. Now you're going to the grocery store saying, I have this much, I don't know when I'm going to get more, so I need to get the essentials. And when you boil it down to what the essentials actually are, that's where you find out what your needs are versus desires or would like. So you need green leafy vegetables, fruits, protein. You need that in your diet. You desire or would like some desserts, some extra starch because it's comfort food. You would desire those. You would like those. And here's the funny thing, and it's for those of you that are on diets and working on healthier habits, this is very important, and this is why diets don't work. Because you can buy all the things and have them in front of you and say, I'm going to consume only healthy things. I'm only going to do these things. But if your neuroprogramming still says, but I need that bag of chips. Oh, but I need my afternoon snack. I need that. Well, then the diet's not going to work because you've already killed it before you even started because this wasn't on board with your intentions. And that's why it's so important. Thoughts align with words, which will then align with actions. So start programming, I need to eat just enough to be full. I need these green leafy vegetables. I need proper nutrition. I need to hydrate. Yeah. I would like to have that chocolate bar. I would like it. Do you need it? No. Start programming yourself, and that is actually how people have been able to wean themselves off of sweets. There's an amazing man, Eric Edmeades. He has this program called Wild Fit. Have you guys heard of it or heard of him? I have not taken his program, but I know several people who have and who have raved about it. And it's a full, all-encompassing thing. It's not a diet. It's not a fad. He helps you work through creating these new neural pathways so that your diet can then work, and then you just stop craving it. Because when your brain is no longer saying, I need these sugary things, it shuts off the portion that actually compels you to go get them. And so you actually do lose that ability. Just like when you stop consuming lactose for a long enough time, your body loses the ability to break it down. It's that same concept. You're reprogramming yourself. I don't need that. And your brain says, hey, body, you don't need that. Shut that down. It doesn't need to work. So instead of saying I need something, look at it and find out, look at all the things, write down all the things you say that you need, and see how many of those you can say, I would like. It would be nice. And not just food, like in all areas. Now, desire is a word that most people don't use. And if they do use it, they use it in a scenario sexually, where I desire you. Because it has such a juicy, sexy connotation to it, right? I desire. And the only time we ever hear anybody actually use that in terms outside of the bedroom are kings and queens, royalty, right? I desire for this to be done. I require this. Desire and require. They rhyme for a reason, because typically they're only compartmentalized in the royal aspect. Why don't you step up? Why don't you become the king of your life, the queen of your life? We don't live in a monarchy anymore. So it's up to us to take ownership of our lives. We pride ourselves, especially as Americans, we pride ourselves on being so independent and being able to think for ourselves and do. Then why are we slaves to our own lives? We're slaves to our own minds. We're slaves to the dreams that we dream. We only dream as big as the box we've been put in. Oh yeah, that would be nice, but that's not for me. Why? Because you haven't had the example of it, because you haven't programmed yourself to believe that you are capable and worthy of it. That's why. So desire and require versus I need this, I desire it. Ooh, that elevates you immediately. That automatically, especially ladies, I desire that. Oh, someone's gonna go get that for you, because you just stepped up and owned your queen. Same with guys, and guys actually use this kind of, they don't necessarily say desire often, but they definitely say it with say what it is that they desire with a more commanding presence. Far too often, and I know I'm kind of being slightly biased, but in my line of work, I mostly work with women, and you definitely see more of women taking a step back and it would be nice if, or would you mind if, could you please? And because we've been taught that we have to be polite and we can't just demand things. That's bitchy. When you step into your power and you start claiming your life, as we so often say that we do, but our actions speak otherwise, you claim your life and say, I desire that. This is a non-negotiable for me. I require this in my life, especially the dating world. I require this, this, and this. If not, sorry, next. You really, to step into your own power and to create these goals, to achieve the goals that you are saying that you want. Want. Let's talk about want for a second. Well, first off, before I go on that tangent, in order to achieve these results, you really have to start watching your words because they have different meanings. And I'm not going to go super far into it, but I will touch on it as far as need and want, because these are big ones too. Go ahead and Google the root origins of some of these words, because words have power. And need, other than saying I need the latest video game that came out, other than saying need in those situations, what's the other time that we say need? Anybody? Usually around the holidays, we talk about giving to those in need. So being in need, who is a person that is in need? Generally, we think of them as less fortunate. It's a term that has its roots in lack, not abundance. And so when you are saying, I need this, you're actually reinforcing to the universe that you are without it. So how many times do you say that you need something that you usually don't get it, right? Because you've reinforced, I need this, need, in lack of. So like, I need more money. How many times do you say, I need more money, and you don't get more money? Because you're saying, I need more money. The universe says, need. Well, I understand that from its root, so you lack more money. Cool, lack more money, got it. Here's a new bill. Oh, that's the total opposite of what you meant. So now you've got money leaving versus coming in. I require more money. I desire more money. Guys, with my clients, 75% of my clients choose to go into my 3-month program with me. 100% of those who go into my 3-month program make more money within the first 2 weeks of being in my program. Week 1, health and wellness. Week 2, thoughts, words, and actions. It is no coincidence, guys, that when you really hone in and focus on the thoughts you're thinking, the words you're speaking, and the actions that follow, that things will get better. That you will start having better relationships with people. You will start making more money because you are getting rid of the words that are not serving you in the context which you've been using them. And you are reprogramming and rewiring yourself to serve what you're looking to have, do, be, feel, see, create. Want. Someone who is wanting is someone who also is in lack. They are without. They are in want of, right? In need of, in want of. So again, when you say, I want more money, I need more money, the universe is going, you lack more money. Got it. Remember that Cosmic Cafe that I talked about in a previous episode? If not, go back and watch that one. That one's really good too. I get really fired up and passionate about the Cosmic Cafe because it's so true. We don't say and act in accordance and alignment with the things that we actually mean, the things that we actually desire. And the way social constructs have evolved, it's degraded the English language. And that's why it's one of the hardest languages for other foreign languages to learn how to speak. Because we have so many double and triple and even quadruple meanings to words, we've totally bastardized and degraded their power. And we're using words in a way that is the complete opposite meaning of what they actually are. And no wonder we're sitting around living mediocre lives that we're not happy about, we're not satisfied, and we're lying to ourselves, trying to tell ourselves we are, rather than building ourselves up and going and achieving and getting the lives that we actually desire. We're making excuses and we're bringing ourselves back. We're growing as big as our box, and we're not realizing that there shouldn't be a freaking box to begin with. Does it make sense? Other words to think about are a problem. Is it a problem or is it a challenge? I'm not going to spend too much more time on these because I want to get through everything and answer questions, but go ahead and Google the origin meaning of these words. Always, want, never, need, problem, desire, wish is another way. I wish that would happen versus I want that to happen. Sometimes, require, challenge, would like or enjoy. That's another way of saying, if you don't feel comfortable saying I require this or I desire that, would like or enjoy is a good substitute. And crave. Ooh, crave's another juicy one that we usually only use in the bedroom. I crave you. Well, what about I crave a life of luxury? Nothing wrong with that. Society says, oh no, don't talk about that. Like, live within your means. Has living within your means gotten you any happier? Gotten you any healthier? Gotten you any richer? You set your means, and so you lived within them. So, okay, I'll live within my means. I'm going to set different means, though. Expanded thinking. One more word I'm going to touch on, and it's actually really funny. I had a friend text me the other day. He was reading a book, and he highlighted a passage in the book that he read. And he goes, thought of you as I read this part of a book. And the highlighted portion said, a person who is trying is not doing. Either you are or you are not a particular thing. There is nothing between doing and not doing that can be trusted. So true. He's been tuning into a bunch of my talks and my lives on my personal page or on my professional page for about a year now. So he already knows, and it's amazing. And I felt so great that he read this book and was like, Cassandra, because try. Oh, eradicate that word, please. Try sucks. Try technically doesn't even exist. If you are trying, if I'm trying to talk to you, I'm either talking to you or I'm not talking to you. Now, this can get into a really fun, really deep, crazy conversation going into quantum physics. Because you're breaking down, even if I am here and I'm walking to you, I'm not trying to walk to you, I'm walking to you. Either I'm standing still, not walking to you, not moving whatsoever, zero kinetic energy, zero inertia, no forward movement, no muscular twitches or anything. I am like not moving, or I am. Even if I take one step, I walked towards you. So literally, I'm either walking in the opposite direction, away from you, or I'm walking towards you. I'm not trying to get to you. I'm not trying to go away from you. Try does not exist. And if you need more clarification on that, please go ahead and send me a message, because that I get super fired up about. So every time you're saying, I'm trying to be healthier, either you're doing healthy steps or you're not. You're trying. You added spinach to your lunch today. Awesome. You're not trying, you did. You just got healthier if that's something you didn't do before. Or I'm trying. Okay, well tell me what you've done. Tell me what you've done to take steps towards this goal. Can't list them? Then you didn't try. You either do or do not. Like Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. It's so for real. And I actually have on my affirmation cards, that is something that I have written down that I look at daily, because you can talk yourself out of so many things. Well, I tried, but I was sad today. Be truthful. Either you did or you didn't. Okay, you were sad, so you didn't take any action. Don't lie and say you tried. You didn't try. And that's okay. When you start being truthful, and it starts with being truthful to yourself. We've all told white lies to get out of running late to work or to get out of a situation. That's fine. That's understandable. That's life. That's human. But when it comes to achieving your goals and Manifest Monday, me on Mondays, when it comes to actually doing what it is you desire to have, do, be, see, create, etc., you can't lie to yourself anymore, guys. That has to stop. Because when you can stand in your truth and own it and say, you know what? I didn't try today. It takes so much pressure off of you, because we're constantly telling ourselves, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then when we don't, we say we tried, and that's a lie. You didn't. Try doesn't exist. Either you did or you didn't. Either you got up out of your bed and, RPM, rise, P, meditate and got on with your day, or you didn't and you laid there. Don't say that you tried to get up and meditate, because you didn't. And that's fine. You'll notice the more that you start living in your truth and stop lying to yourself, the more you're going to start taking actionable steps, because you don't like being lied to. You don't like having to face that ugly truth. You don't like I talked about in the productivity last week about seeing the series of check marks. You don't like seeing that empty check mark that you didn't check off because you didn't do the work. Try. Fire that word. So what I have my clients do is I actually have them make a list of thoughts, words, and actions that you're hiring and that you're firing. So in that list of words that you always say, go ahead and look at the things that you say and figure out if you need to hire a certain word in certain situations and if you need to fire a certain word as well as actions. So you create that list, and again, you really do want to write these down, because once you're faced with it and you're looking at it, it's one thing to think about it, but if you want to actually create, I said want, if you desire to actually create the change that you say you do, write it down, because then it's going to stare you in the face and you cannot deny it. And that is when you can be actionable and say, okay, not doing that anymore, using this. And to that degree, while you are going through with that list, I'd like you to take a look at all that natter that comes up, all that shit talk. Take a look at, are those your words or are those someone else's? What I mean by that is, oh, I can't do that. Who said you can't? Why can't you? Oh, I can't do that because I am too fill in the blank. Short, tall, fat, skinny, pale, etc. Okay, those are descriptions. Who told you you can't? Because remember, when you were a little kid, you could do anything until somebody told you you couldn't. And then the meaning-making machine started working and started filling in the blank for you. Oh, well, I can't do that, so I guess I also can't do that, and I can't do that. So I have this fun little sheet that I like to work with, and really kind of the negative things that you say to yourself that keep you from living your best life. What are the most common things that you're constantly tearing yourself down about? Write those down, and then think back. Whose thoughts are those? Are they really a genuine truth that came from you that you think about? Or did somebody else say that you absorbed and adopted, and that became your current reality? I say this to everybody. Who you have become is not who you are. It's only who you've become so far. Okay, it rhymes. Yay. But really, who you have become right now is not necessarily who you actually are. It's only who you have become through the way life has happened to bring you to who you are now. So you're not really a jaded, angry person. You're not really cold-hearted. You're not really so stern and straight-laced. You're not really those things. But the world has taught you that you have to be those things. But they might have served you thus far. This is a wake-up call, guys. Globally, what's happening is our chance to pause, to reflect, to find out, okay, clearly something's been broken. The system, the healthcare, the government, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we can hang around and play the blame game, sure. Is that serving you? It might be helping you vent, but you're putting out more negative energy versus creative energy. So how do we solve things? We get in alignment. We find out what our true desires actually are, what really would serve us, and we fire what doesn't. We reprogram and get rid of what isn't serving our highest purpose. So in alignment with Manifest Monday, Me on Monday, thinking about your goals, whether it be a broad goal, a goal for the year, a goal for the week. I'd love to hear what your goals are for this week that you would like to achieve. Hell, you would like to achieve it yesterday. Like, I would love to know that so that I can start helping you choose the words and find the actions and solutions that are going to get you there. This is what I do. I don't solve your problems for you. I help you create and build the tools so that you can go ahead and solve your problems. And remember, are they problems or are they current challenges you have yet to overcome? Because a problem is like, you're gonna have a problem with me? We got problems. We got issues. That's great. That's not fun. But a challenge, ooh, a challenge can be overcome. A challenge is sometimes pleasurable and delightful to work with. So your top 3 to 5 most common things that you talk yourself down about, write those down and really start peeling back the layers. Where did you first hear that? Where did that limitation first become a limitation for you, and who said it? Once you can put a face or a name to who said it, it's so much easier to be like, oh, fuck you, get out of here. I mean, if one of your friends started talking to you the way you talk to yourself, you wouldn't keep them around. You'd break up with that person. So why do you do it to yourself? So it's easier because these are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. It's easier if you can identify where it finally came from, so you can look at that person in your mind's eye and be like, that messed me up for years. That held me back from so much of my potential. I am kicking you out. You can't live here anymore. You can't hang out rent-free. Like, you don't deserve to be here. Out. And when you metaphorically get rid of that person that's attached to that thought, it's so much easier to get rid of that thought than just this thought that's in your head. So I really encourage you to do that. And I just want to see if there's anything else I wanted to cover on that before we get into a little bit of a meditation. You know what? I think I will save this for next time. Will I? Let me think here. Hang on. Influencers. No, I can get into this real quick. So the last thing is talking about your outside influencers. So just like these other people who have given you your limitations, there are other things that affect the way you operate. And that's going to be things like, I talked about your vision board, even down to the colors that surround you. They all have a certain meaning. Now they have their own rooted meanings, but then they also have meanings to you. So maybe red, which in the chakra realm and traditional cultures, like look and see whatever culture is right for you. But traditionally red typically means love and whatnot. But for you, red might mean warning, danger. So maybe if you're if you're looking to cultivate love, maybe if red signals warning to you, maybe you use a color that makes you feel loved. Like maybe daffodils make you feel loved, so maybe yellow. Or, you love taking care of your body and being healthy, and so green equals healthy, but green also equals love to you. So find out like what colors symbolize what for you, and depending upon what it is that you're seeking to enhance, surround yourself with more of those kind of colors. Music. I talked before about having a positive playlist that I listen to every morning before I start my day. Before I will check my text messages, check my emails, I will do my meditation, my affirmations, my journaling, my gratitude journaling, and then my medicine cards, and then I'll turn on some positive tunes. I do that. Hey, Tim. I do that because I am priming myself to be awesome and ready before I can take a look and be like, what did Trump say today? What drama do I need to handle today? Who broke up with who? Before I let that and what's great is it basically puts this barrier so that when you do get hit with the less than awesome things that are around in life, it's almost like you put Windex on you, they kind of just bounce off. It doesn't really affect you as much. You don't take things as personally as you would. Just like, you're not you, Snickers says, you're not you when you're hungry, right? You start to get hangry. Well, it's feeding your soul. It's nourishing your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, so that you are kind of bulletproof, which is another song that's on my playlist by LaRue. It's great because it energizes me, it hypes me up, and it reinforces. And I talked about this in a previous video. I love pop punk and emo. Those Those are always gonna get me. They're always gonna get me dancing, and they're sure as hell gonna put me in a different state of mind. And typically, not so great. Now, I am huge on catharsis. I am huge if I'm going through a breakup or I'm sad, I want to listen to breakup sad music. I want to listen to music that speaks to me, that relates, because we all want to be seen, heard, and understood, right? And that's the only reason we want to listen to it. We don't want to stay there. We don't want to suffer, but we do it to ourselves. And yeah, the tunes are awesome. We love this band. I had to stop listening to a lot of my favorite artists for a couple of years because I was like, oh my gosh, I love these melodies. I love these tunes, but I'm seeking to bring in my soulmate. And by talking about all the guys who did me wrong, by listening to music about all these terrible breakups and how you're a cheater and a liar, that is so not priming me to welcome in someone who doesn't do those things. Sure enough, how many times did I date losers who cheated on me and lied to me and gaslighted me? Far too many times to mention. Look at your surroundings, guys. You can totally love the dark makeup and the black clothes, and if that's your style, awesome. But if your soul is like, no, I love color and I love beauty and I want to be seen and heard, but I've got to be here. No, you don't. Be here. The world is not being served by you playing small. So look at the music you're listening to. Now, I eventually went back and found some bands that I absolutely love that actually have positive messaging, but I had to be very consciously curating this playlist. You know, I've got a lot of Adelita's Way songs, actually, as far as friends bands that I love. I've got a couple of Spitalfield songs, if you're still in like the pop punk emo world. Seosin's got some good music. Even Drugs, Destroy, Rebuild Until God Shows. I'm Here to Touch the Sky. The rest of the music is very angry and bad, but that one, although it might have a different meaning to the authors, to me it's about ambition, and there are no walls, there are no ceilings. I'm climbing and I'm just going to reach it no matter what. So it's about listening to music like that not only pumps you up but aligns with where you're headed. Because if you want to head here but you're listening to music or playing video games or watching movies or TV that is just mindless, numbing filler, and it's actually making you feel shitty about your own life. You're watching like Housewives of wherever, and it's great. Surround yourself with that glamour. If that's what you desire, surround yourself. But if in watching that makes you feel like crap for your current situations, you gotta watch something else until you can be ready for it. The good relationships, they're not coming if you're not ready to receive them. That's why you keep finding yourself in the same cycle. That's why you keep dating losers and cheaters, and that's why the diet doesn't work, because you're over here trying to diet, but then you're watching Sugar Rush. It's not really serving you. I love Zumbo's Just Desserts, but if I am trying to diet, I'm not trying, because I can be eating healthy foods, but my neuroplasticity is still like, but all the sugar and sweet, Zumbo, show me more. Like, it's a great guilty pleasure, but it's not in alignment with those goals. So to get there, you've got to pay attention to the words, the thoughts that you're thinking, the words you're speaking, the actions that you are doing, and you got to change some things around. Look at your surroundings. You know, they say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look at those people. This can be a difficult task, but there are some friends that maybe you need to take a break from. There are some coworkers that maybe you need to tell them to go back to their cubicle, or at least stay out of yours. And given that we are in this isolation and quarantine time, think of it as we're all butterflies in waiting, and we're in our cocoon stage. And it's our time to go within, to go inside, to go in the dark, heal the wounds, find out what those wounds even are, so we can come out bigger, brighter, stronger, more loving, more conscientious, more aware of the things that we're doing to Mother Earth, the more aware of the ways we're treating each other, more aware of the ways that we're treating ourselves. How many times do you treat somebody better, way better than you treat yourself? No, it's got to start with you, because at some point that battery's gonna drain out. It's all these things. Now, I know I said I would get to meditation. We've got 5 minutes left. I think, let me know, guys, if you want to continue with meditations or you would like to continue with these deep dives. Personally, so especially since I meditate on my own ahead of time, I personally would rather just dive into the content and work with you guys and give you guys coaching, answer questions that you have. I would much rather do that because I find this to be so much more impactful. That's not to say that meditation is not impactful. I firmly believe that everybody should do some form of meditation, whether it's prayer, meditation, 5 minutes, focusing on your breathing, whatever that is. I truly believe that that will help you. But in tuning in with this hour that we've been gifted together, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that the best use of our time is to share and help. You like this format better? Thank you, Steve. Well, if I continue with this format, I'm going to hold you guys to it, because if you really desire these changes to happen, you have to take the initiative. I'm here to guide you, but I can't hold your hand all the way. You have to take the initiative to put these building blocks in place. Do your meditations when you wake up so that you can come here and be ready to receive. But I appreciate your opinion, and thank you for sharing that, Steve. I would love to hear from the rest of you. So go ahead and either DM me. You can also email me at wildblossombeacon@yahoo.com. You can also go to wildblossombeacon.com if you want to take a look and see more about me, more about what I offer, and as well as this page, Cassandra Renee, or Wild Blossom Beacon Coaching on Facebook. You can go there, you can message me there. Normally I have been coming back during the midday for a midday mindset shift, but I actually, I have a bunch of doctor's appointments lined up today. I was in a car accident back in November, personal injury case, so I've still got lots of things to do. So I won't be able to do a midday mindset shift today. Hopefully I'll be able to come back and see you guys again. But either way, every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be here with you for your Rise and Shine with me, Cassandra Renee. So any other questions? I've got a couple more minutes before I go. If you guys have any other questions. And if you do want a guided meditation that you were looking forward to today that you didn't get, send me a message. I'll find some time today to guide you through a meditation if you like. So you gotta message me. I can do so much, but I've got other things in my life that I want to do. So I'm here for you. I'm here to hold space for you and help you as best I can, especially in this time. But I'm not a total mind reader yet. So if you guys would like that, let me know. So I can put that together for you and make the time and space for you. I'm here to serve. Well, while I'm waiting, if you guys have anything, a reminder, I do still have this contest going on where you can win a prize package worth over $300. It's in the comments as far as how you enter. But on any one of these quarantine networks that I have posted with my lives, go ahead and share one of those videos. If you haven't done so already, like and follow me over on Facebook and Instagram, and share any one of these videos with the hashtag either TQN Cassandra, or Wild Blossom Beacon. Use any or all of those hashtags. And when you share that video, make sure to tag at least one friend. For each friend that you tag, you'll get an extra entry in, and this includes a 1-hour private coaching session with me, as well as the 4 biggest keys to falling in love with yourself. That's normally a $97 package, and the coaching with me is normally $210. I do have discounted rates if you would like to purchase those outright. You can message me for more information on that. But I'm giving those combined away for free. But in order to enter, you do have to do the following. So go ahead and check the rules there. And thank you for being here. You are doing the right thing. We're all going to come out of this bigger, better, stronger, more loving, more kind, more compassionate. And you just showing up here is making that happen. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. And as always, cough into your elbow, wash your hands, and stay home. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.